Live. This is WBBC Chicago. Yeah. 77.3. Your hottest digital station.
Now in digital HD sound.
What's going out there, people in radio land? It's the one and only DJ Malone, man. Chicago 77.3, the best place to be at on any day, really, man. I'm happy to talk to you guys yet again. I do appreciate everybody for tuning in with me and getting everything going, man. The next person I got coming up on the horizons, I really want you guys to get in tune with them. We talking about spoken word here. I really am a sucker for spoken word. As you guys know, I love whenever I can watch movies and different stuff like that. I forget the name. Love Jones. That spoken word piece to me is probably one of the best spoken words. Like as far as movie wise, I've seen some stuff live, and I really want you guys to get in tune with him, man. He's gonna be performing, man, and on November the 5th, the 12th, the 19th, and the 22nd, and along with the 26th, and a lot of other big surprises, man. Let's go ahead and bring him in, man. Dwayne Morgan, what's going on? How you feeling, man?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, I appreciate you being here, man. How's everything been for you?
You know what? Things have been really good, really hectic, but I'm grateful to be doing things that I love to do and just being able to enjoy every day as the journey that it is.
That's real, man. I want my listeners to get to know about you and everything that you have going on, because you've been doing this for a while now, man, and I
Yeah.
want people to understand your history and your lineage. Let's go ahead and go into a time machine. How did this all start out for you?
So I first got involved with spoken word poetry when I was 18,
Okay.
and yeah, I just found out that I could write. I wrote something and everybody was like, "Yo, that's kind of like telling our story kind of thing." And it kind of gave me the encouragement to write and to tell stories. And I've always been an introvert, so I never would have thought I
Yeah.
was going to do something with my life that was going to be, in front of people, but that's just kind of how things happened. And at the time, there weren't really a whole lot of opportunities here in Toronto for, young Black people in the
Yeah.
arts
Yeah.
doing creative things. So I had to create a lot of opportunities for myself and for my peers.
Wow.
And this year we're celebrating, 32 years of being able to do this full time, being able to put other people on stages, whether they're comedians, musicians, so it's definitely been a blessing, and to also create space for artists from America to be able to come to Toronto and hit stages as well.
Now, originally, you're born and raised Toronto, or where we at with it?
Born and raised in Toronto, family from Jamaica.
Okay, okay. That's what's up, man. I really like your work and respect your work, man. I think for spoken words, it's as a DJ, and I'm going ahead and give you a kind of like a synopsis. As a DJ, we're taught to read energy, and I feel like that's how spoken word artists have to do. You have to read energy and understand that your energy kind of morphs into everybody else. When did you know that you had this talent?
You know what? From pretty much from the beginning, when I kind of went on stage, when I only had one poem, and just the feedback that I got from people was just like, yeah, you got to keep writing, and it was cool because at the time, I wasn't a good student. I had no clue where my life was going. So this was the
Yeah,
first time people were like, "Yo, you're good at something." And I was like, "All right, say
yeah.
less. Yeah, I'm just gonna run with this and see what I can make from it." And as I said, it's been 32 years and still counting, still here, still going, still, putting out albums, books, all that good stuff. So it's
That's what's
like,
up.
I feel really blessed to be doing something that I never even saw,
That's real.
in
That's real.
in the vision for my life, but now this is what my life is.
When did you know, like, okay, and well, let me ask you this. How have you felt about the evolution of spoken word? Because when how it was in the 90s is not how it is today. How do you feel like the evolution has been?
Yeah, it's been really interesting because when we first started, it was very niche.
Yeah.
It's like very small. Nobody knew what it was. It was in a lot of these little cafes and different things. And I remember I used to come down to the States, and I would just hop on the Greyhound and I would just go city to city and just hit up spots. And it's like,
Wow.
yo, who's this guy from Toronto? What is he doing down here, right?
Yeah.
And now there's a Grammy category for spoken word.
Yeah.
There's people doing audio books and using that lane to for their spoken word. So there's a lot more knowledge of it. There's a lot more opportunities for it than when I first started. And I know you had mentioned Love Jones before. I mean, after Love Jones, everybody was a poet after
Yeah.
Love Jones. Like,
Yeah.
after that, everybody was like, oh, yo, I can do this. So I remember I even put on an event called This Ain't Love Jones,
Yeah.
just to be like, yo, there's some of us who are actually doing this, and then there's other people who are like, yo, since Love Jones, they just started doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's been great to kind of see the evolution and how it's morphed into so many different things and so many opportunities for people to be doing different things. So Jay Ivy, who won the first from Chicago, who won the first spoken word Grammy, he's won it
Yeah.
twice. To have him on Kanye's album, right?
Yeah.
And to have that merging of hip hop and poetry, to have Ursula Rucker on the Roots albums, and
That's
and
right.
just have that building of neo soul and spoken word and all these things into where we're at right now.
Yeah, I think too is, I never knocked Love Jones because I think Love Jones made it mainstream and made it a thing. And when I say that is that, and I'm not saying it wasn't a knock before, but I think people connected it so much it was like, okay, I get where this is going. But at the same token, if you're really doing this, you like Love Jones is like kind of you're cutting in to a piece of like they don't show the rest of the like how it really is. You get what I'm saying? Like in order
For
to
sure.
get that, like most of the time you gotta be in your zone and the vibe has to be right. And
Yeah.
they don't show a lot of like a this the whole evolution of how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, and with everything, you take the negative, you take the positive. I mean, as you said, it was a great look because a lot of people had no clue what spoken word poetry was, and it opened up a lot of avenues for a lot of people. So you just take the positive and you just keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody who's gonna jump in, not be authentic, and they're not going to last very long because
Yeah,
it's only
yeah.
it's only so long you can keep up the charade before it's like, all right, I'm out of ideas. I don't even know what else to say anymore. So
That's
you
right.
know it's all part of how it ebbs and flows.
I like this, man. So you will be at the when the brothers speak. I'm sorry. When the brothers speak when I can't why can't I say that? When the brothers speak event, man, who we got on the bill today?
All right. So in November, I'm doing a whole series. As you mentioned, there's 5 different events. The biggest one is When Brothers Speak, which is on November 22nd. We have a brother named Cloud who's going to be coming to Toronto from New Jersey. We have a brother named Tebe Zalango who's representing for Illinois. And then we have a bunch of local people as well. The poet laureate for Ontario, our province here, Testament, another brother, Randell Ajay, who used to be the poet laureate, a brother I've mentored named Scribe, and then I, host and curate the whole show. So
Okay.
that show, I started it in 1999,
Okay.
and I've been running it every single year, and it's just a show for Black men to get on stage,
That's
uncensored, and
beautiful.
just talk about whatever it is going on, how we see the world in our part of the world,
Wow.
uh, uncensored, unfiltered, and people just show up just to listen to these brothers every year. So
That's what's up,
that's
man.
that's the big marquee event in the celebrations in November, and then
Okay.
every Wednesday I have a show, which is poetry and piano. So it's like
Okay.
just changing the vibe and doing a musical kind of thing for people as well. So
Okay.
November's going to be real busy, and I'm just excited to be on stage and just give all this to the people.
Where's this now? Where's the venue at? Like, where can the people get tickets? Everything.
All right, so tickets are on Ticketmaster. For When Brothers Speak, the show's at the St. Lawrence Center for the Arts. It's a big 500-seat theater in downtown Toronto. It's
Wow.
one of those things where people travel from the states and come up to be a part of the show. People go to get their outfit, their hair done. It's like it's
Wow.
it's the thing that people look forward to because it only happens once a year, and then
Yes.
every March I do the Black women's version, and I give the sisters their time to
That's
do
what's
their
up.
thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So people really respect the fact that it's like, okay, this one night I'm just going out and I'm listening to what these brothers have to say.
Yeah, I like this, man. I want to say this too. what I like about you is, and I'm not knocking any race when I say this, but I think representation does matter. So whenever you have and you're putting on these phenomenal shows, is that you give these people a platform to showcase their stuff, which by the representation it pushes the narrative more better for us. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I can respect that.
Yeah, and I think it's so important, right? I think a lot of artists are so focused on what they're trying to get that they forget that you could probably get more if you bring some other people with you.
Yeah.
So, part of what I've always done is looking for who can I bring with me? What opportunities can I create for other people? Because, a lot of the people that come from the States and perform in my events, like they don't have another way to get to Canada, to
Mm.
get to Toronto, to so I'm trying to be that bridge. And back in the days when I used to be pounding the pavement and on the Greyhound going city to city, I'd always just be building with people and be like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll come to your city, you come to my city. And we just started to, just build some things. And I think there's so much infrastructure that we can build just having that kind of mindset of let's see what we can build together.
That's real, man. Do you think that nitty and grittiness or hunger or driven is kind of changed now because like you said, you went on the bus and you just hit it. You hit the rounds. Do you think nowadays people had that same mentality, or do you think social media has a lot to pan into that? What do you feel?
I mean, I think yeah, social media is plays a big role in it because you're able to get your work out to a large audience without even going anywhere.
Yeah,
Um, and I think that is positive and negative because people are forever sending me these poems and they're like, "Yo, look at this person, look at this person." But the question is, can you translate that to on stage? Can
yeah,
you translate that to, a 20-minute set? That might be a hot 3 minutes, but do you have 25 more?
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
like, so it brings up those kinds of questions, right? Because you can create something, you can film it and make it look all polished, but then if you can't do it on stage, then there's a disconnect there.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think there's something to be said about the grind, about being in front of people, meeting the people,
right,
being able to sell books and things directly to people and building that kind of thing because spoken word is so much like a community voice kind of thing that it
right.
almost needs the people. You kind of need the audience and that direct feedback for it to really have the value that it can have.
I totally agree with you. That's why I said, man. That's why I kind of reference the DJ thing because you have
Mhm.
to have that instantaneous energy. It
Absolutely.
has to. It's like whenever I DJ, it's like a joust. Like I'm feeding you guys, and you giving it right back to me. So
Absolutely.
I can respect that, man. What has been one of the most, I don't want to say best, but a poem that really meant something to you that you wrote?
Um, yeah, I think there's one called Fairy Tales that I wrote for my daughter. And at the time when she was young, there weren't really many books that had little black girls in the books.
Yeah,
And then so many of the books that were there, the messaging wasn't exactly the messaging that I wanted her to have and I wanted her to get. So I had to create my own book and my
yeah,
own poem that kind of change the narrative a little bit so that she could actually see herself and kind of gain some of the messaging that I thought was really important. So I wrote this poem called Fairy Tales. I turned it into a children's book. It
yeah.
ended up being, her favorite poem of mine. So I think when she was like maybe 8 years old, she memorized it, and then we would get on stage and we'd perform it as a duet kind of thing, a little daddy-daughter thing. And I
I
think,
like it.
being able to involve her and include her in something that was special to me was very valuable and very important. And that's something that I think for any parent, you look at, LeBron watching Bronny or whatever, like any
Yeah,
parent
yeah,
would love to see their child doing what they love, even if
yeah,
it's not,
yeah,
her lifelong passion, but being able to share that moment
yeah, yeah,
with her was something that's very special. So then it became a thing where I said, all right, I'll pay you $10 every time you perform it on stage with me because I wanted her to see that uh, there's a monetary piece to what
yeah,
it is that I
yeah.
do. that I'm just not going around jumping on stages for free, but
Yeah.
your talent, your intellect, there's value in that. And I wanted her to
Bro.
know that at any point, if you're using your talent, your intellect, there should be a monetary piece to that, because ultimately this poem is intellectual property
Yeah,
that I'm
it is.
putting out into the public domain.
That's real though, man. But you speak real. Um, and when I ask this, how do you find? And I know this comes with years and built up um ways of thinking, but how do you find your value in something like that?
I think it's I had to learn to take myself out of the equation, because once I'm in the equation, a lot of it becomes ego. A lot of it becomes, what I want, who I think I am.
Right.
I think value is when other people say to you, this is what that meant to me.
Well,
This is
okay.
how that affected me. Because ultimately, if you're not connecting to people, then what's the point?
That's
What
right.
are you
Yeah.
standing up in front of these people for if you're not connecting with them? If
Yeah.
you're in front of them and you're just talking about you and how dope you are and how great you are, who cares?
Yeah.
That's in hip hop, that's everywhere, right? But when you stand in front of an audience, you want to be able to connect with people. You want to be able to make people feel something, think something. And I think for me, the value is when people are like, yo, that touched me. I felt that.
That's
And
real. I like
I'm
that.
just like, all right, I'm on the right path with this.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Where do you hope to see the event grow? I mean, you've been doing it for a while now, so but when do you hope? Where do you hope to see it grow?
I mean, the big vision is having a tour bus and just being able to go across North America with these poets, and we're just hitting, city after city. We've done it in Buffalo, New York. We've done it in Ottawa, which is another part of Ontario here. Um, I mean, one of the drawbacks is that, I've shied away from bringing in, corporate sponsors,
I get
because
that.
I've never wanted other people to have a say in the content.
I like
And
that.
I've always wanted it to be pure and uncensored and unfiltered. So I produced a show every year, just me and my credit card, just to make sure that this thing happens, because to do a big tour, you're gonna have to bring in other people. But the
Yeah,
minute other people come in, everybody has a seat at the table and everybody has
exactly.
say, and the show loses a little bit of that authenticity that I want to make sure it always has, that rawness, that realness, and
Yeah,
and you risk losing some of that when other people and their ideas, start to
yeah.
come in.
I mean, and I can respect all that all the way. Like being the owner for the station, we do 773 weekend, and so I made a very big point. Like I need to be the only cook in the kitchen
Hmm.
because I only and no knock to anybody, but I know what I want to do and how I want to do it, and I know how I want people to feel from it. And I think
Hmm.
that's a lot to deal with a lot when you say to a person, "Hey, yo, like I want you to be good when you come here." Sometimes when you get with the bigger sponsors, it's more like, "Okay, cool, thank you for your money, thank you for coming, there you go." And that's not the way I ever wanted.
Mhm. No, absolutely. It's same kind of vibe, right? I just want to make sure that it's authentic, that people never be like, oh, the event sold out. It was good back in the day, but now it's, washed up and different things. I always want to make sure that, the artists, they come, they're like, hey, can I curse? I'm like, hey, if you curse in your work, curse. Like
Yeah,
I don't want to hold you back. Like, you do you. Every artist has the exact, there's no headliner. Every brother has the exact same amount of time. It's
right.
like, yo, do you speak about what's going on in your world, in your life, how you want to do it. And it's just so important to me to make sure that we maintain that purity. That doesn't mean at some point I won't bring on other people, but only if it's understood that we're not
Yeah,
changing content of the show, because that has to remain what it is.
I respect that. I respect that all the way. Why five dates? Why not just one big one? Why spread out?
So When Brothers Speak is always every November. So that one is always, like I said, people look forward to it. But as an artist, I'm always looking for challenges for myself. I'm always
Okay.
looking for new things to do. I'm always looking for things that I could do so that younger artists coming up are like, yo, that's dope. I want to aspire to that. I want to try to do that. So
Yeah.
um, So three of the shows are called Poems in the Key of Life,
Okay.
right? Stevie Wonder for the inspiration on that. And for each one, I'm working with a different pianist.
Okay.
So one is a jazz pianist, one is like a R&B hip hop pianist, one is like
Okay.
a folk soul pianist. And we're all putting together, 90-minute sets that fuse their talent and my poetry.
Okay.
So, for every show, it's going to be a whole different show because they're bringing in their interpretation of my work.
I get it.
So,
Okay.
it's a different feel, it's a different vibe. So every week I got to get on stage, I got to do a different 90-minute set with a different musician. And for me, it's the challenge. It's
Yeah.
can I pull this off? Can I do this? Because if you're not pushing yourself to do things that you've never done, then you just get comfortable. You just get stagnant.
That's real.
You're
That's
not
real.
growing as an artist. You're not looking beyond your current moment.
That's
And
real.
if Netflix came and was like, "Yo, I want you to do a 90-minute set," you're like, "Yo, I've never done more than 15 minutes," then you're gonna miss
Yeah.
the opportunity.
Yeah.
If I do a 90-minute set, I'm like, and Netflix comes and is like, "Yo, can you do a 90?" I'm like, "Yo, I've been doing that. I got you."
Yeah.
Right. So it's always looking at preparing yourself for other things that might be coming and doing things that everybody else isn't doing.
That's
Everybody
real.
else is on stage doing 5, 10, 15 minutes. All right, let me get on stage with these pianists and create a whole different vibe, and make it a whole musical experience and actually see, when you're a poet, your creation process is very solitary. It's just me and a paper and a pen.
That's
So when
real.
I say a poem and somebody's like, "Ooh, this is what I hear," they're hearing things I never even imagined.
Right.
So it's cool for me to hear how they're interpreting my work. And they're like, "Oh, but I could do this chord and that chord." And I don't even know what they're talking about, but because I don't speak musical language, but I'm like,
Yeah.
they're hearing things and melodies in the work that I don't even hear, I don't even know about. So
That's real. Yeah.
even in that sense, it challenges me sonically in terms of how the poetry sounds. And I think
Yeah.
for
That's
me,
real.
it's always about the challenge.
I like that, man. I like this. This has been real dope, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really am excited for you and everything that you got coming out, man. I really am. Where can the people find you at?
All right, so I am, my website is dwaynemorgan.ca. On social medias, it's just Dwayne_Morgan, and Dwayne is Dwayne. And that's it, man. If people don't even remember that, just go to Google, put in Dwayne Morgan poetry, and everything comes up, and it's real easy. And I'm always trying to build with people. So if you're listening to this and you got stuff going on, like just reach out. I'm always forever building.
Hey, that's what it is, man. November the 5th, the 12th, the 19th, the 22nd, and the 26th, people. You can check him and company out, and make sure you guys check out everything. Hey, yo, man, I really stamp and prove that because I'm really about different perspectives. Because I just like to hear perspectives and good energy, man. So, how you been? How's your mental, man?
You know what? Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, and it's really just a matter of just trying to stay present in the moment. It's so easy to get caught up in all of these different things, and you go on social media and you're seeing every piece of negativity that's happening in the world, and it's easy to feel down about those things, but you really have to remember that life is a blessing. So you got to make
That's right.
every day count. So, I try to just, hang out with my daughter, do different things, like just try to have fun because none of us knows how much time we have. So wasting time lamenting on all the negativity makes absolutely no sense. It's right. There's stuff to do. And people always wonder, like, why does this guy work so hard? Why is he always doing stuff? Because I have no idea how much time I have left. So if I
That's
don't do
right.
it, there's no guarantee that there's going to be another time to do it. So let me just live in the moment, be in the moment, do what I love to do, and that really is the best thing for my mental health, in just knowing that I'm doing something that I love to do on a regular daily basis.
I like this. This has been dope, man. Dwayne, this
Yeah,
has
I
been real
appreciate you
dope.
having me, man.
Now tickets one more time for the people in the back. Where can they get tickets?
All right, so you can get tickets for When Brothers Speak. The tickets are on Ticketmaster. For the other four shows, DwayneMorgan.ca, and you can get your tickets. So definitely, I encourage people to definitely um, get tickets. And I know, we're broadcasting from Illinois. Is it Chicago where you
Yeah,
at?
but well, I'm in Houston right now, but
Okay.
we're gonna be broadcasting in
Yeah,
Chicago.
dope. So yeah, like I said, every year we always have people who make the trek across the border just to come in and be at When Brothers Speak. We always see people from Buffalo, Cleveland, different parts of New York, Detroit, who come through, and they just love the energy in Toronto. They just love building with people and being with community. So wherever you're at, if you're listening to this, November 22nd, get a ticket, be at When Brothers Speak, and if you're able to be at one of the Wednesday shows, do that too.
Hey, that's what it is, man. But treat the
Absolutely.
family out, man. It's gonna be Thanksgiving time around that time. Treat the family out, man. Gotta go get them some good energy after you get some good food. So
Absolutely.
that's what it is, man. Make sure you guys stay in tune with everything that he has going on. It's the one and only DJ Malone. Before you go, I always ask people if they could do a drop for me. You're gonna say your name and I'm rocking with DJ Malone.
All right, cool. What's good, people? It's the spoken word artist Dwayne Morgan, and you are rocking with DJ Malone.
Boom. Fireworks, explosions, everything in between, man. It's the one and only DJ Malone. Man, Duane, it's been a pleasure, man. I really do appreciate this.
Hey, so thank you so much for having me, brother.
Chicago 77.3. We out. Wow.
We lit live. This is WPPC Chicago. Yeah. 77.3. Your hottest.